Oh, oh no. What did you? How did the tea? That was my breakfast, Serenity. You four-legged troublemaker. Of course you're up there on top of the cupboard with the yarn in your leg and also strewn all over the loft. Oh, hello, half-bride. Didn't see you come in. You've arrived mid-catastrophe or perhaps mid-cosmic metaphor. Apparently, this morning's lesson is brought to you by chaos itself. See that? One tiny tip of a teacup and suddenly the entire loft looks like a philosophical crime scene. But maybe, just maybe, this is perfect. Because today we're talking about trusting the process. About what happens when life spills, tangles, and climbs right out of the window and somehow, still, it all belongs. So pull up a chair, watch your step. The thread of destiny is currently all over the floor. And let's begin. Today's quote comes from physicist and philosopher David Bohm, who said, "Reality is not what it seems. The deeper we go, the more we find an order in the chaos." So Bohm wasn't just talking about atoms and quarks, though fair warning, he adored both. He meant that underneath what looks like randomness and confusion, there's a hidden coherence, a kind of intelligence quietly at play. In physics, he called it the implicate order, the idea that everything in the universe is connected beneath the surface, unfolding from the same vast field of potential. What we see, the movement of stars, the timing of rain, the way one choice leads to another, is just the explicit order, the visible part of a much deeper dance. So maybe life isn't a mess after all. Maybe what looks like chaos is just pattern mid-creation. The universe still sketching the next scene. And maybe trusting the process isn't about blind faith, but remembering that there's more going on than we can see. So take a breath, half-bride. Whatever's unfolding for you right now, it might just be part of the deeper design. Alright, so it's time for Mind Gym, where we don't lift weights, we lift perspective. Take a breath. Now think of something in your life that feels stuck. Something you worked hard for, studied, practiced, hoped, prayed, and yet it's not moving. Maybe it's a goal, a person, or just that sense of, why isn't this working? Now close your eyes if you can and tune in to what you imagine is your higher self, that wiser, quieter layer of you that doesn't get lost in panic. And ask this question gently. How could this be in my best interest? How could what's happening be in my best interest? How could this be for me and not against me? And don't rush to fix it. Don't jump in with a but or an if only. Just receive whatever comes. And if nothing comes, that's okay too. Because as they say, every prayer is answered. Just not always with a yes. Sometimes the answer is a quiet, not yet. And sometimes it's a loving no. We pray for the situation to change, but sometimes the situation was given to change us. You can whisper this simple prayer instead. Universe, help me find the strength to trust this process until it shows me why it's been here all along. It's time for our mini miracle report. So tell me, what do you think a miracle really is? Things suddenly going your way? Every wish granted instantly by some glittery, overworked fairy? Not quite. A miracle isn't when life gets easy. It's when you don't give up, even when it's not. Now think about the people you admire most. Maybe a sports person, a celebrity, a creator, even someone in your own life, a parent, a friend, a teacher. Do you love them because life always worked out for them? Or because when it didn't, they kept going anyway? Now let's look at a few amazing people whom many admire. Take Mahatma Gandhi, for example. Imprisoned, humiliated, and yet he carried peace as his weapon. Nelson Mandela, 27 years in a cell, and he walked out not with hatred but forgiveness. J.K. Rowling, rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter ever saw a shelf. Serena Williams was told she didn't belong, then rewrote what belonging even means. Every one of them had a chapter where it looked like the story was over. And that's exactly when the miracle began. Rumi said, "How will your mirror ever be polished if you cry with every rub?" Every scrape, every delay, every heartbreak. It's not punishment, it's polishing. So maybe the miracle isn't in the wish being granted. Maybe it's in the becoming. The way you grow stronger, wiser, more tender with every twist life throws your way. So if things are hard right now, don't count yourself out of the miracle. You might just be in the best part of it. Now for our slightly tilted tale. Once, in a little town famous for its woven carpets, lived a boy who loved colors more than anything else in the world. His favorite place to visit was the workshop of a famous weaver, whose carpets were said to glow even when the lamps were out. The boy would spend hours just staring at them, dazzled by the reds, the golds, the greens that seemed to dance together. One day, with eyes full of dreams, he asked the weaver if he could become his apprentice. The weaver, a quiet man with eyes like twilight, nodded with a smile and said, "Come tomorrow." At first, the boy was thrilled. He got to touch the threads, feel the soft skeins, and even help choose colors. But as he watched the weaver at work, something began to bother him. The man often picked dark shades, black, brown, deep indigo, and wove them right in with the bright ones. The boy frowned every time. "Why do you use those dark colors?" he finally asked. "Look how boring they are. Wouldn't the carpet be much more beautiful if it was only full of light and bright colors?" The weaver smiled. He said, "All right then, my boy. Today you will make one carpet. Use only the colors you love. No dark threads at all." The boy's heart leapt. He spent the whole day weaving with excitement. Scarlet, gold, turquoise, and cream. When it was done, he stood back proudly and waited for the weaver's approval. But when he looked again, he noticed something strange. The carpet looked flat, almost blinding. The colors, instead of shining, seemed to fight with each other. The next day, the weaver gave him another task. "Now," he said, "make the same pattern again, but this time add the dark threads wherever your hands feel they belong." The boy obeyed, hesitating at first but slowly finding his rhythm. And he began to notice that the black and brown threads seemed to pull the colors closer, give them shape, make them sing. When he finished, he gasped. The carpet looked alive. The gold glowed brighter, the reds burned deeper, and the blues seemed endless. "Now do you see?" the weaver asked softly. "Without the dark, the light has no meaning." The boy nodded, feeling something shift inside him. Life is very much like the carpet, a weave of both joy and sorrow, success and failure, light and shadow. Just like the weaver's threads, our difficulties give shape and beauty to our journey and help us become the truly amazing masterpiece that each of us is meant to be. So the next time your life feels tangled with dark threads, remember you're still in the middle of the weave. The pattern isn't finished yet. Wait, and one day, maybe when you're like 98, you'll see every shade, even the ones you didn't want, added to your story. Okay, so the teacup has righted itself, mostly. The yarn, well, it's still everywhere. Serenity has returned to a more dignified perch, presumably contemplating the universe from a slightly safer altitude. Today, we were reminded that life, much like this loft, isn't neat. Threads get tangled, tea spills, chaos tiptoes in while you're not looking. And yet, somehow, it all makes sense. Or it will someday. So as you step back into your day, remember, the mess is part of the masterpiece. The accidents, the surprises, the stray threads, they're all exactly what your story needs. Trust the weave, trust the spill, and maybe keep an eye on the cat. If you know another half-bride who needs this cozy corner, please send them upstairs. This is your host Smita, signing off from the Lucid Loft, where every loose thread finds its place. Eventually. This is the Lucid Loft podcast, where wonder, wit, and joy are always on the guest list.